half wave rectifier where only one diode is fixed, and during positive half cycle of the input, diode becomes in the forward bias condition, and during negative half cycle of the input, diode becomes reverse bias condition. So only during positive half cycle the output is optimum, that we have seen in the previous class. So today we will discuss what do you mean by full wave rectifier and how it works and all. So full wave rectifier is a rectifier which gives output for both the cycles of alternate current, gives output for both half cycles of alternate current. So this kind of rectifiers gives the output for positive half cycle as well as for the negative half cycle. So what construction it includes? Let us see what construction it includes. So it consists of an AC source. It consists of an AC source which is connected to primary coil of the transformer, which consists of connected to the primary coil of the transformer, and secondary coil of the transformer. Secondary coil of the transformer is connected to two number of diodes which are connected in parallel, and load is connected across. I will show here. So load is connected somewhere. So this is what RL is. So this is what RL is, and this kind of transformer is called center tap transformer. What transformer we are using is center tap transformer. So this is center tap transformer, and this is AC source transformer, and this is diode D1 and mark, and this is diode D2 and mark, and this is P and this is N, and this is P and this is N, and RL indicates the load resistance, and here across this one I will mark as VI, input voltage, and across this one we will mark it as output voltage. Across this one I can mark as an output voltage. So output voltage can be obtained from the RL. So this point is at the center, and we can take the connections like this also. So this is what the basic connection of the full wave rectifier. So constructions first, we will discuss regarding the construction. So construction, it consists of the center tap transformer. Primary coil of center tap transformer is connected to AC source. Secondary coil of the transformer is connected to two diodes which are in parallel with each other, and both the diodes are connected with the load resistance. And center point of the transformer, this is what the center point I mark here at C. This is what the C is. Center point of the transformer is connected to load resistance as shown in the figure. And we will mark some points, like here this point is A, and here this point is B, and here this point is X, and here this point is Y, so that we can show the direction. So let us write the constructions regarding the construction. Consists of the center tap transformer whose primary coil is connected to AC source, and secondary coil is connected to two diodes, two number of diodes which are in parallel, and in between these two diodes the load resistance is connected. So in between diodes, load, or you can say output, is connected at center of the transfer. So center point of transfer. So this regard the construction, simple lines. You have to write it like: it consists of the central tap transformer whose primary coil is connected to the AC source and secondary coil is connected to two diodes which are in parallel, and both the diodes further connected to the load resistance. Another end of the load resistance is connected to the center point of the transformer as shown in the figure. So the construction is shown in the figure. Now how it works? So listen it very carefully. When the positive cycle, I will draw here the input as well as the output. When the positive half cycle starts flowing through the primary coil, current is induced in the secondary coil such that point A becomes positive and point B becomes negative. Point A becomes positive and point B becomes negative. Means here you can see this P is connected to positive terminal of the source and N is connected to the negative terminal of source. So current starts flowing through this one like in this direction. I am marking the green pen. Current starts flowing in this direction. But in this half cycle or in this half of the circuit, this diode is in reverse bias, whereas this diode is in forward bias. D1 becomes in the forward bias condition, and D2 becomes in the reverse bias condition. So D2 does not conduct the current, and D1 being in a forward bias condition, it conducts the current in the direction of A, X, Y, C. So this is what the direction is. So during the positive half cycle, when it induced in the secondary coil, point A becomes positive and point B becomes negative point. Because of this reason, D1 becomes in the forward bias condition, being connected with the positive, P connected with the positive, and D2 becomes in the reverse bias condition because P is connected in the negative. So because of this reason, diode D2 do not carry or do not allow current to flow through it, and D1 being in a forward bias condition, it allows to flow the current in the direction A, X, Y and C. So these are the current during the positive half cycle. So during the positive half cycle, output can be obtained as, I am drawing here itself, output can be obtained as, so this is what output voltage, this is input, and this is output, and this is time, and this is voltage, and this is voltage. So during half cycle, positive half cycle, current is flowing through the diode D1. So this current is because of diode D1. So what happens when the negative cycle starts flowing through the primary coil? When the negative cycle starts flowing through the primary coil, now during the negative cycle, point A becomes negative, and point B becomes positive. So point A becomes negative and point B becomes positive means for the diode D1, P is connected to negative. Hence, this diode becomes in the reverse bias condition. whereas D2 being connected to the positive terminal, it becomes in the forward bias condition. So D1 do not allow the current to flow through it, but during the negative half cycle, D2 becomes forward bias and it allows the current to flow through it in the direction like this. So the current is flowing in the direction I am showing in the red ink. So this is how the current flows. This is how the current flows. So I'll repeat once again. When the negative half cycle flows through the primary coil, the same negative half cycle will be induced as per the required voltage induced in the secondary coil. During this half cycle, point B becomes positive and point A becomes negative. Being point B is positive, D2 becomes forward bias condition and D1 becomes reverse bias condition. So being D2 forward bias condition, it allows the current flows through it, but D1 is in reverse bias condition, there will be no current flowing through it. So the direction of current flows is B, X, Y, C. So this is what the current flows through it. So this is regarding the working. So I am written the construction here. You can just take out the screenshot. Hope you have taken out. And during the negative half cycle, output can be obtained is also like this. And this current is because of diode D. And similarly for further, it goes like this. Once again it is D2 and go on, going and going. So I am writing the working of this one, how it works and all. Only I am writing the key points so that you can make some notes. So working. So when positive half cycle flowing through the primary coil, required amount of, or writing the secondary coils, point A becomes positive and point B becomes negative. Therefore D1 is in forward bias condition, and D2 in reverse bias condition. So current flowing because of this reason, D1 is a forward bias condition, current flows through the D1, but D2 is in reverse bias condition, current do not flow through it. Hence the direction of current is A, X, Y, C. So the direction of current is this one. When negative half cycle in the primary coil flows, point A becomes negative and point B becomes positive. Because of this reason, diode D1 is in reverse bias and D2 is in forward bias. Hence the current which flows is in the direction of B, X, Y, C. So the direction of current. So this is the key points. You can add these key points while writing the notes. Just take out a screenshot so that you can write the notes. So hope you have taken out. Now you may find a question there. During the negative half cycle in the input, why the positive cycle is coming as an output? Why it becomes positive? Because what is the answer is D2 is the output across this load resistance. D2 is the output across the RL. See, in both the half cycles, the direction of current is, if you consider this load resistance RL, what is the direction of current in both the half cycles is from X to Y. because of this reason, whatever the output we are getting, which is in only one direction. So this is how we are converting the alternate current, or you can say bidirectional current, in the unidirectional current. So here also some drawbacks are there. Variation of voltage is there. It is by unidirectional, but variation of the voltage is there. Suddenly voltage increases at this peak point and suddenly it becomes zero. Once again it suddenly increases. This can be rectified, or this can be once again converted into complete DC by using filter circuit, which I'll see in the next topic. So next is filter circuit. So filter circuit, regarding this one we will see whatever output we have got from the filter circuit is unidirectional. We can agree that. But filter circuits, the rectifiers, what the output we have got from the rectifiers is unidirectional, but we have got some pulsating, like certainly the voltage increases and certainly it becomes zero. Once again it certainly increases to the maximum level and once again it reaches zero. That pulsating or that pulses can be removed by using the filter circuit. So filter circuits are the circuits which regulates the voltage of the DC, or you can say which makes the flow of DC uniformly. So these filter circuits have two kinds of filter circuits are there. One is so in the previous concept we have studied full wave rectifier as well as a half wave rectifier. In the half wave rectifier some drawbacks are there. Those are for every half cycle, for every negative half cycle of input we don't get any output. But during the positive half cycle we are getting output, but during the negative half cycle no output at all. And to recover or to rectify that, we develop one more kind of rectifier, that is what the full wave rectifier is. In the full wave rectifier we are getting the output for both the half cycles, means for the positive of AC and as well as for the negative half cycle of AC we are getting the output. But in that also we have certain problems. We are getting output like this. We are getting output like this. So this is what the unidirectional. We can agree this. This signal indicates unidirectional signal. It may be voltage, it may be current, but it is unidirectional. But you can see here, voltage or current certainly decreases to zero and increases to the maximum level, and furthermore it decreases to the zero. And once again it increases, once again decreases, means it has a pulsating voltage. Pulsating voltage means it is varying voltage. It is unidirectional, but it is pulsating voltage. We have to remove those pulses, hence some more modifications needed to that rectifiers. That modification is the filter circuits or filters. So filters are just the modification done to the rectifiers so that pulsating signals or pulsating output can be removed. So how it works and all we shall see. There are two types of filter circuits. One is the capacitor parallel filters, and another one is inductor series filter. So these are the two types of filter. Here we are using a capacitor to correct the signals, and here we are using an inductor to correct the signal. We shall study how these two are works and all. So first we shall see the inductor series filter. Very simple, it is working and all, and very interesting how it works and all. So first we will see the inductor filter, inductor series filter. So it includes the rectifier. Along with that, it includes inductor, which is connected in series with the load resistance. So we shall see the connections. So I am showing a block diagram for the rectifier. So this is what the rectifier is. So this indicates rectifier. It may be full wave or it may be half wave rectifier, and this is the input. It is unidirectional input, and whatever the output is got, that is passed through the inductor, which is in parallel with the load resistance. This is RL and this is inductor. So this is what the arrangement is. Here rectifier, it includes two diodes. If it is full wave rectifier, it includes two diodes. You can show that also, and a transformer, central tap transformer, all those things you can show that also, or simply you can see this figure also. So here inductor it is a coil which is connected in series with the load resistance. So this is what the construction says. It is nothing but same as that of the full wave transformer. Just addition is inductor of inductance XL is connected in series with load resistance. How it works? Here, inductor's reactance of this inductor's reactance can be given as XL is equals to 2 pi F multiplied by L. So F indicates frequency and L indicates the inductance value. So this reactance is nothing but resistance offered by this coil, this inductor. So here you can see whatever the pulsating output we have got, it is in this kind. I am just showing this by a dotted line. So now if we see this formula, x equals to 2 pi L, where L is a constant and XL is proportional to F, means its resistance is proportional to frequency. If the frequency increases, XL also increases. Means if the frequency increases, FL, resistance of this is also increases. Resistance of this increases means current directly goes to the the transformer directly, without passing to the diode, it is directly going to the transformer. That way. So because of this reason, as the frequency increases, resistance of this coil increases, particular high frequency voltage of output of this rectifier do not flow through the load resistance. Means only particular value of, I'll show it by, only particular value of voltage is flowing across the load resistor. So only particular value of the frequency, or you can say value of the voltage, is flowing through the load resistor. Because of this reason, when the frequency increases, resistance increases, for that frequency, that particular frequency, this inductor do not allow the current to flow through it. Hence that current, this much current is bypassing. Only particular amount of frequency value, for the particular frequency value voltage, is allowed to flow through the load resistance. For this reason, the pulsating voltage becomes a direct current voltage. So this is what we can see, the directing current. And this pulsating, we can say, is AC plus DC. Here, this component absorbs the AC component of output. This absorbs the AC component of output, only it allows DC to flow through it. So this inductor do not actuate during DC. It allows the DC to flow through it, but it do not allow AC to flow through it when its frequency is high. So this is regarding the inductor series filter. And next one is capacitance parallel filter. How it works and all, which we shall see. So in the capacitor filter circuit, capacitor parallel filter, capacitor parallel filter. Here also you can see I am showing a rectifier as a block. So this is what the rectifier, and this is input pulsating DC, you can see, or you can say AC plus DC. And here load resistance is connected, and to this load resistance a capacitor is connected, and I'll show this later. So capacitor is connected. This is RL and this is capacitor C. Now, so the construction is rectifier circuit. Rectifier circuit is connected to the load resistance, which further connected to a capacitor, which is in series, or you can say in parallel with the load resistance. So this capacitor is parallel with the load resistance RL. So how it works, which is very simple. Here its reactance XC can be written as XC is equals to 1 divided by 2 pi FC. 1 divided by 2 pi FC. Here we can see this reactance is nothing but resistance of the capacitor, resistance of capacitor, and you can see this XC is proportional to 1 by F. Means as the frequency increases, this XC or resistance of this coil decreases, or this capacitor decreases. So if the resistor decreases, I am showing the output of the rectifier. So this is the output of the rectifier, and I am showing it by dotted line once again. Now, if the frequency of current is more, resistance of the capacitor decreases. Resistance of the capacitor decreases means all the high frequency current flows through across this, that is AC component. AC component bypasses through this capacitor, only DC flows through the load resistance, and this dotted line, whatever I am shown here, is AC. This is nothing but AC plus DC, and because of this capacitor, it absorbs, or you can say it bypasses AC component. The whatever the output we have got is the DC current we have got because of this reason, because of this XC is inversely proportional to F. As the frequency increases, the resistance of this capacitor decreases. So high frequency current flows through this, and DC part it flows through the load resistance. So DC part I am getting as an output, and AC part, which is bypasses to the rectifier. So this is regarding the filter circuit. Filter circuits are the circuits which makes the pulsating output, pulsating DC to the DC current, or you can say which converts AC plus DC to DC current. So I will stop here. I will be continuing in the next class. So this is regarding today's class, and I will stop here, and thank you.